I'm Katie. Some of you may know me. For the last 2 years, I've spent the greater part of my time in Kodiak, working at the Kodiak Baptist Mission. And while in Kodiak, I was very happy to call Berean my church home, and got to know a lot of really awesome people there. Really enjoyed going to the small group that the Longs put on. Anybody that's of college age, you guys should go and check it out if you haven't. It's a really good group. Anyways, I wanted to tell you about our mission trip to Grandview. I was really excited. I had come home to Washington State, and I heard about the mission trip that was going to be going to Grandview, which is also in Washington. And I was really excited about it because a few of the people that I was friends with from Berean were going to come down, and then some other people from Berean that I didn't know so well. I knew their names, but I had never really spent time with them or got to know them. So I was really excited about that, and excited about the idea of going on a mission trip that was close to home. I've always had a, passion to go and do mission trips. But I've always had this idea that for it to be a true mission trip, I had to be far away from home. It had to be in a different country. It had to be thousands of miles away. And so when I heard mission trip in Washington, I was like, that's kind of strange. But at the same time, I was like, I really want to try this. I want to check this out and see, why would Alaska send people to Washington, kind of. And so I said, yeah, I'll go. And I was going to meet up with Missy Hayes, and she was going to come down from Spokane. We're going to meet in Colfax and drive down. And kind of in the whole planning process, I know Gary had many kind of trials on his side as he tried to put it all together for us to meet up. And we had our complications as well. Missy didn't have a car to drive, and so I was going to be the driver, and I kind of unexpectedly had an eye problem come up where I couldn't drive, and I was feeling nauseated all the time. So I really thought that our side of it had fallen through and we wouldn't be able to do it. And I don't know, I was really just saddened by it because I had hoped so much to be able to do it and be a part of it. And I think this was kind of the same circumstances for Gary. It wasn't until I stopped really pushing to do it, until I stopped wanting to do it so much and just kind of put it in God's hands and kind of just prayed, Jesus, if you want me to go and be a part of this, work it out some way, because there's no way I can work it out. And it was probably an hour later that I heard from Gary, and he said, if you guys can come, we'll help you pay for bus tickets. And then I was blown away by that. I was like, that is so awesome. I hadn't expected that. And then I heard from Missy, and her roommate in Spokane had loaned her car. And so the whole thing had flipped, and Missy was going to come and pick me up, and we were going to drive down together. And so that's the way it ended up working out. And it was just one of those, cool things from beginning to end, because she picked me up and she's in this small car that has no bumper. The bumper is in the trunk. And it was kind of a funny kind of little picture of what the whole trip would be like. How kind of little unexpected blessings and little things that made you laugh, and just a group of people that wanted to go and serve God, and it was such a blessing. We got to Grace and Tony Sanchez's house in Grandview, got to meet the family. Their 4 kids are awesome, and we just settled in. Missy and I were prepared to camp in the tents in the backyard, and it was so nice. The girls just welcomed us in, and we had wall-to-wall beds of girls in the one room upstairs, and just people camped out everywhere of people coming to help. And everyone showed up. We got to meet the whole team, and it was such a funny conglomeration of ages and of skill levels, and just a whole group of people that were completely different. But I kind of was blown away by it. Again, I was blown away so many times in the mission trip. But I was blown away by it because I was like, here we are, such a goofy group, and yet it's this kind of group is the only way you could see it coming together is you could see God putting it together, because he knew exactly everybody that needed to be there, everybody that was perfect to be there, even though we would not have chosen everybody to begin with if we put ourselves in a lineup. Like, I mean, who would choose somebody that was having eye problems and was nauseated? Seriously, I was just blessed to be there, and I think everybody else felt kind of the same way. I think we all put it in God's hands, and it all came together just the way he wanted it. And it was such a good team. We worked together so well. We got so much accomplished. I think probably more than we, any of us really anticipated. And we did insulation. We helped get the windows ready to be removed. We cleaned the yards and weeded. We flattened the backyard. Worked in the basement. I don't know, just did lots of things. Gary did electrical. There was all kinds of obstacles. It was really hot. It was like 100 degrees. But it just, I don't know, it sounds like kind of sounds miserable, because part of it we were in the attic doing installation. The other part we were in crawl spaces in the basement with spiders. And it should have been miserable. But it was awesome. It was great that everybody's motives were so good, and everybody was so encouraging, and I don't know, it was very inspiring to see how everybody came together and just worked so hard and enjoyed it so much and laughed so much and had good stories and just encouraged each other and lifted each other up, and just good enthusiasm, and it makes all the difference. So we got to do that, and it was just, I don't know, it was a blast. It was great to get dirty and sweaty and just work, for each other, to help each other out of love. And we did that for quite a few days, and then we also got to go and help out in a few of the kids' programs in the schools in Grandview. And that was a huge blessing as well. To see Tony and the kids interact was awesome. To see how the Sanchez kids worked was great. They just love those kids in school so much and are such good examples for them. It's just really, really powerful to see the difference that they make, and the kids need it so much. And it just, it was good for me to see. It was a good grounding experience for me, because going back to kind of how I had this idea that you had to go far away from home to do a mission, how wrong that concept was, because I got to see there how there's a need everywhere, and you don't have to go far away. There's such a need close, and if you're looking for a way to help, then you don't have to go very far. You can look to your neighbors, you can look to your community, or you can look, a few hours away, and you'll find it. And you can be a blessing. You can just do so much. And I think what I was reminded again, and what's good for all of us to be aware of, is the simple fact that your mission field is all around you every day, and you just can, basically, by the way you live and by the people you interact with, you can show them Jesus, and you can show them love when they would not be exposed to that otherwise. And I think that was a huge, huge thing for me, was to see those kids and to realize that the need that they had. It was really awesome. Later in the week we got to do a birthday party for one of the Sanchez kids, and kind of combined with for Aaron, Gary's Aaron, and we got to do a piñata and games with the kids, and it was just so much fun to interact with them, and so easy to love them because they are so ready to be loved. And I found myself playing a game with a group of the kids, and it was so simple, that it was amazing, but we had so much fun and we were able to connect and interact so quickly playing it. All we had was a penny and a stick, and the first round of it we would just basically whack the penny with the stick to see if we could get it to bounce down the sidewalk, and we would kind of mark how far it bounced down and see if the next person could make it further. And then the second game we played was to actually just slide the penny down a banister and to try and catch it in a cup. And it was so much fun, just getting the kids to come out of their shells and interact and feel welcomed. And it's amazing to see, God's love in action. It truly is amazing. And I think apart from us as a mission team, what was really good for me to see too was just the Sanchez's, to see the work that they're doing in Grandview and to see how important it is. And I think if you're there, you might be struck to begin with how there's not that huge of a congregation. There's not that many adults that they are, working with in the church. Might be your initial reaction, but then when you realize the effect they're having on the community, you realize how important it is that they're there and how important their work is and how many people they're reaching. They reach more kids in the school every day. They come to their after school program. They come even just to their house. While we were there staying, kids would just wander through their house all times of day, and they would eat meals with us, and they would play in the yard, and they'd play with us, and they'd come by and see what we were working on. Same thing with the neighbors. The neighbors would come and they would see what we were working on, and they would be so encouraged by seeing the improvements and knowing that somebody had come from far away to help. It was such an encouragement and blessing to the neighborhood. And in turn, they tried to bless us as well. They showed us so much kindness. And at one point, one of the neighbor ladies even brought over some shirts that her daughters used to have and gave them to Missy and I, because we were getting so dirty working. And it was just such a gift of kindness and kind of appreciation. So it was really, really good to see. And I know that Grace has such an impact in the community with the programs that she does with teenagers. And I don't know, I just think that they are such a blessing to the whole family. And they're doing such good work. And I think it helped me see too that you can affect the people that you're around, and you can try and touch thousands of people, but by doing that you can often become disassociated with the people that are close to you and the people that have needs that are next door to you or in the school down the street. And I think, I don't know, it was a good kind of awakening for me to see how it's important to really kind of show your Christianity and be a good, strong Christian for the people that you can truly affect. I think it's awesome to try and reach as many people as you can. It's awesome to try and help the world, but I think at the same time we need to also realize that we need to really take care of our people that are in the community that we're in, to touch the people that we can truly touch and not always be reaching for things that are beyond our grasp. So I guess my two big things that I take away from the Grandview mission trip is just how incredibly awesome God is in putting the right people in the right place at the right time. having them have an effect on the people that they're interacting with, while at the same time having those people affected as well. It was really a beautiful thing to see, and it was very inspiring for me. The other lesson that I take away from it is the idea of what the boundaries of missions is, and to know that missions is every day, where you're at, the people that you're interacting with, and that there's no kindness too small. There's no number too few, and I just am encouraged myself to continue with missions, to do missions far away, to do missions in Alaska again, and to do missions close to home.
Todos necesitan amor que nunca falla, tu gracia y compasión. Todos necesitan perdón y esperanza de un Dios que salva.
La muerte venció,
amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. And I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see so clearly. And hallelujah, grace like rain falls down on me. And hallelujah, and all my stains are washed away. They're washed away. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious and dear that grace appeared the hour I first believed. Hallelujah, grace like rain falls down on me. And hallelujah, and all my stains are washed away. They're washed away. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less than days to sing your praise than when we first began. Hallelujah, grace like rain falls down on me. And hallelujah, and all my stains are washed away. Hallelujah, grace like rain falls down on me. And hallelujah, and all my stains are washed away. They're washed away. And hallelujah, and all my stains are washed away. They're washed away.
You're the God of this city. You're the King of these people. You're the Lord of this nation. You are. You're the light in this darkness. You're the hope to the hopeless. You're the peace to the restless. You are. From There is no one like our God. There is no one like you, God. Greater things have yet to come, and greater things have still to be done in this city. Greater things have yet to come, and greater things have still to be done.